Behind a Pickle, and I'm here today to talk to you about warming up for practice or play of BDSM skills. I personally am a rope bottom and educator. I'm going to end up showing you the warm-up that I take my classes through when I teach. Pretty much everything we do in BDSM is a physical activity. That's the reason we need to warm up our bodies. Often it gets told to bottoms that they need to stretch before scenes, but if you stretch before your body is warm, you can actually tear muscles and hurt yourself. We want to make sure that the people who are getting hurt are only getting hurt in the ways that they have consented to. And if you're the person who is doing the active physical skills, spanking or tying, it's also good for you to be warmed up to get your body ready to move, because you're going to be moving, doing this scene, and you don't want to get injured while you're trying to lift your person up. The warm-up that I'm going to lead you through is pretty accessible for all skill levels. Personally, when I warm up for either play or practicing my rope bondage stuff, I end up doing a little bit higher level workout because I'm an athlete. I like the gym, I like to work out, I train on aerial apparatuses. So I know what my strength is, but I don't know what your strength is. And if anything is hurting you in not this is kind of stretching this muscle kind of way, stop and don't do it, or try and make it smaller so that it doesn't hurt you. So where we're gonna start is we're gonna start at the top of our head and we're gonna move down. So we're going to nod our chin to our chest, and then we're gonna make a big circle around with our nose. We're gonna come around about 3 times. If you need to stop anywhere or hold something because it feels good, do that. So when you get to the bottom on your next circle, we're gonna switch directions. I'm gonna take around in the other direction. Again, same thing in this direction. We want to hold anywhere that feels good, that feels like it needs a little bit extra stretch. And we want to make sure that we are dropping our shoulders away from our ears. So the shoulders, that's the next part on our body. So we are going to shrug our shoulders up towards our ears and then relax them away. Squeeze and relax, squeeze and relax, squeeze and relax, squeeze and relax. And you want to do that about 10 times to get your muscles warm and to get used to that motion. Then I like doing arm circles. If I have a lot of space, I want to do full butterfly swimming stroke circles. If I don't, I will do chicken wings. This is getting my shoulder rotators moving. You want to go ahead and switch directions now. You want to make sure everything is moving in both directions. The next place I go is my elbows. And I'm also going to do circles just for my elbows. This is great for spanking, it's great for tying, it's great if your arms are going to be in a box tie. Go ahead and switch directions on that. Then we're going to do the same thing on our wrists. Make little circles with our wrists. You want to do about 10 of these as well. And we want to go in both directions. This is really good for finer things like piercing, tying rope, and knowing what your timing is on how fast you can move your hands. Again, if you're going to have a rope across your arms that could impinge nerves or circulation. So then we want to go ahead and we want to do a little bit more refined warm up with the fingers. So we'll go thumb and index, thumb and middle, thumb and ring, thumb and pinky, and then go in the other direction. And just take note of how long this is taking you, because if it ends up taking you longer at some point in the scene, there is probably an injury and you should probably stop and start over. And then go ahead and wiggle your fingers out. next thing we're going to do is one more hand warm up. I think hands are really important. We use them for so many different skills, and we use them so much in our daily lives that we don't want to risk injury to our hands, because it is just very inconvenient. So grip your fists as tight as you can, and then flick your fingers like you're flicking water off of them. You want to go ahead and do this about 10 times. I like to do some side bends, and I just kind of stay like I'm the filling in a sandwich between two pieces of bread, and I slide side to side. I want to do about 10 on each side. And even though you might not always think about moving this way, you use your obliques a lot more than you think. I know this because my obliques frequently hurt after training, and every time I engage them or use them for stabilization at all, I end up being like, oh my gosh. Once we've done side bends, about 10 on each side, let's do some hip circles. So this gets our hips and our low back moving a little bit. And you can do figure eights. I like figure eights. And you want to switch directions about now. This is getting our glutes engaged. And let's think about our thighs and our lower legs. So I like to do just kind of a marching motion with flexed feet. My balance isn't super great, so if your balance is worse than mine, you might want to do this with a hand on the wall. That's okay if that's something you need. You could have a chair next to you, but just kind of step up and down. This engages those low abs, upper thighs, and by keeping your foot flexed the whole time, it's stretching out your shin muscles. If you're going to do some kicking, you're going to have your legs tied. It's a whole thing. I also like to do some forward folds from a flat back. So I go into my flat back, and then I curve all the way down and lift back up to a flat back and curve down, and you don't have to be able to touch the floor. Use your legs, have a wide stance. I have a pretty wide stance here, but you can do this exact same thing with your legs wider. You can have more of a bend in your knees. More of a bend in your knees is going to make that a better stretch in your low back. Straighter knees is going to make it more of a hamstring stretch. I hope this has given you some good ideas for warming up for BDSM practice and play. Again, I'm Ina Pickle. I'm going to keep trying to get you some content out each week while we are holed up in our homes and doing things with ourselves. I hope you all are well. Thank you. Have a good